Our city knows the sweet taste of victory. From the Stanley Cup to a Division I title win.
That still doesn't feel real.
A triumph isn't an end.
Now, new stories are being written, and Fox 5 and the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network is following every team on ice. With our UNLV Skating Rebel national champions.
It's great for the city, it's great for hockey.
How will they defend their title?
Let's bring it home!
And the Henderson Silver Knights, skating with something to prove while building tomorrow's legends.
It's great to be able to teach and grow off a win.
Plus, how our youth teams are teaching kids to fly on ice. And what's in store for the new faces of the VGK, including their monsters in the north.
The Golden Knights are beefing up their minor leagues with the Night Monsters. These teams, our teams.
Where their victories become our victories. Building the future of hockey, one player at a time.
Vegas wanted hockey, Vegas got hockey.
Covering every team on the ice, this is Hockey in the Desert Weekly.
Welcome inside another edition of Hockey in the Desert Weekly, the regular season finale edition. I'm Vince Sapienza. Let's fire home a snapshot of everything in store over the next 30 minutes. For the first time in Knights franchise history, Vegas, Henderson, Tahoe, all headed to the postseason. We'll show you how all three levels of the organization punched their ticket to the dance this past week. We'll look back at the first Frozen Four held in Las Vegas and relive the University of Denver's 11th national title. Plus, as per usual, the Skating Rebels in studio forward Dylan Jensen joins me to look back on the sophomore season for him and ahead to the future of the program.
Taves misses the net, and it rings all the way around. Vegas gets a 2-on-1. Eichel has Stone opening up for the one-timer. He elects to shoot. Eichel gets his 26th goal of the season. Vegas clinches their spot in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
For the 8th time in the 9-year history of the franchise, the Golden Knights are a Stanley Cup playoff team. Over the weekend on the road against the President Trophy winning Colorado Avalanche, the Knights picked up 2 points to guarantee their spot in the postseason.
I think when you're, playing hockey this time of year, you want to feel good about your game and have things in order. And for us, obviously, clinching was our goal, and to be in. And now it's about building our game and feeling good about ourselves as we head into the postseason. This time of year, you want to be playing your best hockey, doing things to win hockey games, and we've been doing that the last 5-6 games, and it's been good.
I just want them to realize how good a team they are. I think sometimes I don't know if they know how good a team they are. I felt in the first period against Colorado, we kind of showed them a little bit too much respect. This is a good team here, and belief is a big thing. I think they need to believe that.
And that belief Tortorella is talking about seems to have manifested in the play of Carter Hart, who had, without a doubt, his best performance since returning from injury, finishing with 30 saves in the 3-2 victory. It was his 4th start in the last 5 games. At that point, he won all 4 games. The relationship between Hart and Torts is a strong one dating back to their days in Philadelphia. Now, prior to Vegas' matchup with Winnipeg, the Knights head coach was asked about the recent play of his goaltender, and his answer hinted at who we might see in net round 1, game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
It's one of the most unique positions in all sports, goaltending. That's what's going to help you find your way. I think we got 2 of them going right now because I think Hilly's made some really good saves and has played very well. Things I read and listen to, I guess it hasn't been a really great year in consistency for Hilly, but he's played well since I've been here. And Carter, since he's come back, I watched his first game when he came back into the league. It's too bad he got hurt as he went down the road a little bit. He's played very well. Big reason why we find a way to get 2 points the other night in Denver. How many saves he made. Plus their goalie made some good saves too. Carter's on track to be in a really good position here to lead the way as we enter playoffs here. Depending on what we do at our goaltending, I think both of them are finding their game at the right time. It's a must in playoffs. You just don't win without great goaltending.
All right, so with that, for the 5th time in 6 games now, Hart patrolling the paint for the guys in gold, and thanks to some Herculean hockey from one Jack Eichel, Hart now 5-0 since returning from that injury, and 6-0 all-time against the Jets. Big thanks, number 9, put together one of his best games of the season, 3 assists, none better than this behind-the-back pass from behind the cage to Ivan Barbashev. That made it 3-0. Eichel would score his 27th of the season in the third, a 4-point outing, the 4th of the season, and the 7th of his VGK career, tied for the most in team history with Mark Stone. The 6-2 win, also the 400th victory in franchise history.
You know, he's not wrong. We do have a really good hockey team in here, and we need to believe in ourselves and in each other. And you know, that's the first step of being a great hockey team and believing in ourselves. And I think you've started to see that in the last few weeks. We've started to build some more confidence within each other and in our game. And you know, there's that belief that comes with it, and that's huge. I mean, that's the key. If you want to make a run and go where we want to go at the end of the year, you know, every guy in here has to believe that you know, we're worthy of being there and winning. I don't think any of us would have expected to, you know, head into the last game of the year with the chance to win the division with the amount of points we had, but here we are. So, like you said, it's you know, it's on us to go out there and do a job and try and win a hockey game. You know, I don't think anybody would be upset if you said that we won the division this year. You know, no matter how many points or wins you know, were accumulated. You know, it's been a season of ebbs and flows, but it seems like we've gotten things going in the right direction here. So as you head into the playoffs, you want to be playing your best. So it's a great opportunity for us to continue to build our game and prepare for the postseason and whatever that looks like.
All right, so here's a look at the standings. Now, this is set prior to the regular season finale with the Seattle Kraken, but the Golden Knights can clinch their 5th division title in 9 years with just a single point against the Kraken at T-Mobile Arena. That would be the most of any team winning the division since Vegas entered the league back a few years ago. Now, a division title also locks in a first-round series matchup with the Utah Mammoth. Speaking of Jack, for the 3rd straight year, Eichel has been named the Golden Knights nominee for the King Clancy Memorial Trophy. This is a yearly award given to the player who best exemplifies leadership qualities on and off the ice and has made a noteworthy humanitarian contribution in his community. Now, each team selects one nominee, and whoever earns the most votes, the winner receives $25,000 donation to benefit a charity or charities of his choice. The winner also eligible to elect his club to receive a grant of up to $20,000 to help organize a special activation related to his cause. Now, Eichel has been a dedicated supporter for Best Buddies International, which is a nonprofit fostering friendships and opportunities for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Now, here's a look at the past nominees. For the Golden Knights, Eichel becomes the first 3-time nominee, passing both Marc-Andre Fleury and Derek England, who were each nominated twice in the first 4 seasons of the franchise. Despite all the ice, we're just getting warmed up here on Hockey in the Desert Weekly. When we return, we're checking in with House Henderson, who continue to rewrite the franchise record books, what they did, what it means, and where they stand ahead of the Calder Cup playoffs. Keep it here.
You're watching Hockey in the Desert Weekly.
Goes past Coughlin. Newman battles towards the empty net, and they got it.
Henderson makes history. This past week, the Silver Knights picked up their 36th win of the season. That is a new franchise record. They're now up to 39, by the way. HSK have been the hottest team in the American League, 21-3-3 since the All-Star break in mid-February. There's a lot of reasons why for their success, but it starts in net. Carl Lindbaum, he's accustomed to winning, but he is in the middle of one of the best stretches of his hockey career. 11 straight victories, 18-0-1 since that All-Star break.
A big part of our team, leader for us, a lot of trust in our team, confidence in our group with Carl. Is getting everything he deserves. Preparation, the work, just the type of person he is and what he's done. It's great to see, and we're happy to be a part of it.
We've got a lot of guys that contribute every night. We play really well as a team, and yeah, just want to keep it going.
Now, despite getting that X by their name in the standings, the Silver Knights did not take their foot off the gas. Just 2 days later, they set a single-game mark, scoring 9 against the Barracuda. Leading the way in this one, Raphael Lavoie scored 3 goals, 4 points, his second hat trick of the season, and in the process set a franchise record for goals in a season with 26, 27, and number 28.
Been pretty good. I mean, couldn't have done it without a lot of the guys. all the guys are finding me out there, and it's pretty nice. We're feeling it pretty good today.
It's awesome. I mean, I think almost 20 of the last games he's had a goal or something like ridiculous like that. And I mean, you see it every day in practice. I mean, he's got a world-class shot. Work on stuff with him all the time on the power play. So I'm lucky to have him on the power play for sure. So yeah, he's awesome.
Now Lavoie's hot hand carried over into the home finale for the Silver Knights. He gets number 29, beating Bakersfield with the OT winner 3-2 earlier in the week. HSK assistant captain Mitch McLean was asked about the impact from number 36.
Played against Lavi for a few years there, and he was a pain in the butt, always scoring goals like that. He can take games over pretty quick with his size and his speed and his skill. And he's another guy that just loves to score, and he loves to score in practice, and it translates during games. And as far as I've known him, he's been a joy to have around. He's a spark. He's in the mix with everything, and really happy for him.
So with 2 games left in the AHL season, the Silver Knights currently sit third in the Pacific Division with home ice advantage in the first round, very much on the table. 4 points back of 2-seed Colorado, 3 points clear of 4th place Coachella Valley. The Silver Knights close out their season in Tucson this weekend.
Poliani up top, over the wall, a shot, they score!
Now over the weekend in Allen, Texas, the Night Monsters earned the split with this overtime winner. But the biggest news came before Tahoe even took the ice, earning a spot in the Kelly Cup playoffs in back-to-back seasons. The team in teal will close out their regular season with 2 games in Rapid City on Friday and Saturday.
But once again, Denver leaving Las Vegas with a national championship.
The first Frozen Four held in Las Vegas ends with the University of Denver Pioneers extending their record for most national championships, getting number 11 and their 3rd in the last 5 seasons. If you missed out, let's see how you shook out at T-Mobile Arena. Starting the first where it was Wisconsin drawing first blood. Vasily Zelenov skates it up and wires this one short side top shelf. The Badgers outshot the Pioneers 10-2 and led 1-0 after 1. Denver had just 5 shots on net through 40 minutes, but in the final frame, they break through. Rieger Lorenz, the Minnesota Wild prospect, parked near the paint, wins the battle in front of the net, and the Pioneers tie the game. Just their 7th shot of the afternoon. A minute later, on the other end, it's Hicks, a freshman who was named the most valuable player of the Frozen Four, showing why here. Pushing off on the right skate and gloves this one down to keep it level. And then, with under 6 to play, Kyle Chazowski, his 2nd goal of the tourney. Take another look, Boston Buckberger. That's a real name. Blast one from the blue line, and the freshman gets a stick on it for the redirect. That is your game winner as DU sit atop the mountain once again of college hockey, 2-1, your final.
Unbelievable game. Certainly we didn't break, and Johnny kept us within striking range, and it's a 60-minute game for a reason. And we'd obviously like to acknowledge Mike Hastings and Wisconsin and the season they had. I mean, they're very similar to us. We're going through some real tough times in January, and got hot at the right time and went on an unbelievable run. I'd probably say it's probably the hardest team we've played against all year. Just how they were on it, their forecheck made it real challenging to be able to break pucks out. We saw it against North Dakota as well, and it was an excellent team on their end. We found a way again. Johnny kept us, within range, as we have found a way in other games. And these guys, we saved our best period for last, and we found a way to make one more play.
T-Mobile, it was an incredible atmosphere, both Thursday night and tonight. Denver fans were loud. Have all the parents in the building. It's an easy city to get fans to come to. So it was such a fun game, and to be able to see our families after the game on the ice. I don't think there could have been a better spot for it.
Still ahead here on Hockey in the Desert Weekly. Time to turn our attention to the Scarlet and Gray. Sophomore forward Dylan Jensen joins me in studio. We're going to talk about the season that was, plus what is next for the program. Welcome back inside Hockey in the Desert Weekly. We've talked gold, silver, even that Tahoe teal. Time to turn our attention to the Scarlet and Gray. And to do that, we had to bring in sophomore forward Dylan Jensen here in studio. Dylan, welcome. Thanks so much for the time. I know you're in the midst of your offseason. Before we talk UNLV hockey, I'm curious your take on the Frozen Four. North Dakota kids, seeing North Dakota, DU winning it all. What was your takeaways from seeing it?
You know, obviously I was from North Dakota, so I was going for UND the entire tournament. But, you know, the second they were out, I had to pick another team, and for me that team was Denver.
Yeah?
I mean, we've been lucky enough to play them the past 2 seasons, so, you know, seeing them win it in Vegas is pretty cool.
How surreal is that? Because obviously you play them this year, they get the victory.
Yep.
But 2 years ago, you guys stunned the entire hockey universe, right? In beating them in an exhibition in shootouts. What was that experience like, and how did that carry the program to kind of where it is today?
I mean, I obviously think that was one of the biggest moments for not only our program, but for the ACHA, just kind of being able to showcase what we can do out there against one of the best teams in the country. And obviously they just won the national championship again, so I think it's pretty cool.
How much do you guys still talk about that?
All the time.
Really?
Yeah, it comes up a lot.
That's awesome. Also awesome, again, I know the season didn't end the way you would have hoped in terms of the totality, but first let's talk about your game, your sophomore year. How did you make of the season that you had and the steps kind of that you took personally as a player?
Yeah, I think overall I got better and more consistent, you know, this year compared to last year. Early on I had to deal with some injuries in my shoulder, but I just, you know, kept pushing through it, leaned on my teammates, the staff, and, you know, eventually got through it.
We'll look at some of your highlights here, and I guess just what are some of the highlights for you as we look at your highlights? What are your highlights from the season?
I think for me the biggest thing, like biggest highlight from this year was, I don't know if you know this, but we were undefeated at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a pretty big highlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, City National Arena really showing the home ice advantage, and as you take that advantage on the road to the ACHA tournament, obviously it ends in controversial fashion. I don't want to rip open that wound again, but talk to me about the tournament, what you learned from the group. You know, I was talking to your head coach, Anthony Vieri Greener, and, you know, it was a young group, but you guys really rallied together in a short amount of time. What was your takeaway from the group during that experience?
Yeah, I mean, obviously tough losing like that in the semifinals, especially the way we did. But, you know, we're all going to use it as motivation for next year. Like you said, we have a young group, but we have a lot of guys returning next year, and we're all excited and motivated for next year.
You win a national championship last year. Obviously, you get to the semifinals again. That undefeated home record is something definitely you should be proud of. Every team takes on its own identity, right? What would you say the identity of this last year's group was?
I would say we struggled with scoring goals at the beginning of the year and kind of like being on different pages, but we all came together towards the end of the year, like you said. And I would say like our main identity is just kind of outworking whoever we're playing, doesn't matter who we're playing, and we just have one speed the entire way.
I've talked to some of your teammates, and they said that work has kind of already started. I know a lot of you haven't even touched the ice, but the workouts, the chip on your shoulder, just the mentality. What is the conversation now and going to be this summer as you get ready to kind of go on a little bit of revenge tour?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the feeling that we got at the end of last year sucks. You know, for us sophomores and for the guys that won it the year before, we got to feel like what it's like to win, and it's a really good feeling. So I think we're just going to chase that feeling. And, you know, the people that didn't get to win it the year before, they're gonna remember how it felt to lose, and we're just gonna chase that.
Dylan, before we let you go, we've got to talk about the 20th anniversary Skating Rebels Gala, which is this Friday. Talk about the importance of an event like this, not only for the program, but for the community as well.
Yeah, you know, it's going to be a great time for all of us to get together as a group and a community. And there's going to be food, entertainment, and, you know, some of the players are going to be there so we can all connect. And it's going to help our program out. It's going to help us with fundraising for things like ice time and travel next year. And yeah, it's going to be a great time.
Obviously, the Skating Rebels can't do what they do without the community, so the 20th anniversary gala is going to be one that helps the lifeblood as a lifeboat to the program. Dylan Jensen, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
Great season. We will chat definitely down the road. But we are not done here. When we return, it's time to clear the ice. Keep it here. Welcome back in. Time to check in with the former Knights, continuing quests elsewhere. And we start in Florida, where on Monday, Jonathan Quick called it a career, announcing this would be the last outing of his 19-year NHL tenure. The 40-year-old saw his teammates all wear number 32 sweaters during warm-ups, and while he didn't get the win, another former Golden Knight, Cole Reinhart, scored the winner. Quick is forever a three-time Stanley Cup champion, most recently here in Vegas back in 2023. His 410 regular season victories and 65 shutouts are the most from a U.S.-born goaltender, the 12th most wins all-time in NHL history. He won 49 more in the Stanley Cup playoffs, adding 10 more shutouts to his resume. A 2012 Conn Smythe winner, two-time William M. Jennings Trophy winner. Next up, Hockey Hall of Fame.
There were some memories throughout the day. Obviously, with the morning skate, saying what I said, I had some texts coming in throughout the day. And, it was, it takes you down memory lane a little bit. Some of the things, some former teammates are saying to me. But obviously all good things, special, very fortunate, play as long as I did and with the people I did. Just great people, great teammates, great families. Very fortunate for the relationships I was able to make throughout my career. Very grateful for a lot of people, too many to name right now. Very grateful for the memories and the moments and, just everything.
Congrats to Quickie, but this might be the most literal clear the ice in our show's history. The Great Eight, Alex Ovechkin, says he has not made a decision on if he will return for a 22nd NHL season. Over the weekend, the NHL's all-time leading goal scorer faced off against longtime nemesis, now friend Sidney Crosby. It was the 100th meeting between the two eventual Hall of Famers in the final home game for the Capitals. Now, Sid did not know if he is hanging up the skates or not, so he had his team stay on the ice to shake hands, but Ovi is waving him off, saying, "Get off the ice. We're not doing any of that." He also didn't do any special lap around Capital One Arena, just back up the tunnel like any other game, which means one or two things. Ovechkin doesn't want the attention, or my theory, he is coming back. We shall see. Either way, that is literally how you clear the ice. I'm Vince Sapienza. We will see you next week for a playoff edition of Hockey in the Desert.